Welcome to Stage 20 Unpack the Tour de France. My name is Alex Clements. I'm here with Campbell Flakemore. Welcome, Campbell.
Thanks, Alex. Great to be here.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it is.
It actually is. What on earth happened last night?
I don't
Oh
know.
my goodness.
I don't
Oh
know
my
anything.
goodness.
No one knows anything. Coronavirus is going to disappear tomorrow. St Kilda's going to win the flag. No one knows anything. It's it's absolute carnage. What happened last night? It finished at 2:30. I was up till 3:30 just trying to process it all. Um,
Mentally unpack the events that had just occurred.
Yeah, I was just sitting in my room. It was humid as I was just sweating, trying to sleep. There was just so much going on, and I don't think anyone predicted what was going to happen. We didn't think Roglic was going to lose any time to Pogačar. All the data suggested so. Didn't want to read into the Slovenian TT champs back in June. But I've never seen anyone mash a climb like Pogačar did. It was ridiculous how hard he was going. Just how you could see he was going quicker than everyone else. It was one of the most incredible performances I have seen in the Tour de France of all time.
Ever.
Yeah.
And also the balls to take it out, to go out so hard, to hit those splits. He's clipping time off the start, and then he just hangs on for the quickest time up the climb to clean up all bar one jersey. He's taken the lot.
I thought maybe he was just going with the approach, I'm going to go for broke from the start. If I hang on, I hang on. If I don't, I don't. I don't care. I'm 21. I'll come back in 10 years and win it.
Yeah.
I think he was equal with Tom D at the bottom of the climb. And then took a minute 20 out of him on the climb. It was, yeah, I mean, you kind of genuinely out of words describe what happened.
Alex Croft on Facebook did take a punt, took a swing at the Pog getting up yesterday, and we didn't really give him a heap. Kudos.
I mean, I don't think anyone realistically thought Roglic was going to lose 59 seconds or whatever it was. Like, if you did, good on you. But realistically, I don't think that was ever a possibility. Like Roglic to lose a minute in a TT like that in the yellow jersey, like
after being so solid for the last 19 days.
That's the thing. He didn't show any sort of weakness.
So solid. Every climb, every scenario that it could possibly go wrong, he was just textbook.
I think Roglic did crack. He cracked big time.
He looked messy up the climb.
He looked messy up the climb. Like, he lost a minute 20 on the climb. I think that's nowhere near the level that he expected to be. Yes, Pogačar shredded the climb, but Roglic also lost a minute to Richie Porte. So that's a lot different to the first 20 days as well. So I think he did crack a little bit. But I think Richie and Pogačar are also on some super ones as well. So just the whole spectrum is just high and low in terms of on a mission and on a bad one. It was a combination of it all, and it would just come out with a redonkulous result.
It was such a clutch performance. Prue's question here, getting some thoughts on Roglic's less than ideal swap from TT to road bike. On Pogačar, he was so class from the first split, just taking a little bit of time. That would have been playing on Roglic's mind to a Class A switch onto the roadie, and then just monstered that climb, that last climb. Like, meanwhile, everything on Roglic's end just seemed a little bit off.
Yeah. Well, Roglic's bike change wasn't as clean as the military precision from UAE.
Yeah, so good.
I'm not sure if you've seen the clip from the team car, but made the bike change and then, like, there's just a few fist pumps.
Yeah.
Panic. Like,
Yeah.
Robbie said F1 precision. It was just all so clean. And then when he got on the road bike, it was just, let's go, boys. Like, let's take a minute on these boys on the climb.
Yeah. I think what is worth dusting off is that podcast you did with Alan Piper in January. I know you don't really touch on Roglic, but Pogačar, but it's still, I think, one of the best interviews we've got on file. And the man behind the microphone, behind the wheel, all tour. I think if you haven't listened to it, I almost want to listen to it again. It was really
he's
good.
a wizard. He's a wizard of cycling.
Mm.
Alan Piper, so much experience as a rider and as a DS, but I don't even think he realistically expected him to. Maybe he could have won the stage, but I don't think he was expecting Roglic to lose that amount of time to Pogačar. I think he mentioned if he has a bad one, maybe. He didn't think he was going to have a bad one, but Roglic did. I'm going to say he had an off day.
I think the climbing data cements that. Like you couldn't see him coming close. You couldn't see Richie taking time on any climb in the whole tour on Roglic to put a minute into him. Whew. I know he was good, but yeah. Wow.
Comment here. Thoughts and prayers out to the Jumbo boys. Yeah, you could tell
how was that footage of Tommy D and Wout van Aert at the top of the climb just looking so confused?
But
as you would be, you'd be so flat, like, but not flat, just like, what is going on here? Like, these guys, this shouldn't be happening.
These boys didn't miss a beat for 3 weeks, and either did Roglic, but it just all come unstuck. It just all unraveled so badly. And when Roglic crossed the line, he was just white as a ghost. He just looked like he was just a shell of a human. He was just about to start crying, like, and you sometimes just have those days in a TT where it just doesn't happen. It, for some reason, you just cannot do the power, and your head starts to go. I mean, I'm sure he was getting the time checks. You're down, and then your head starts to go even more. And
it would have been interesting to hear what was actually communicated. Have you ever had any absolute shockers?
Yeah, I've had
on the TT rig.
Yeah, big time. Yep.
When?
2013 under 23 Worlds.
After you just won Chrono Champenois, coming into the world's hot favorite.
Yep. Everything was normal. Everything felt right. Warm up was good. Get out on the road. Boom. No, like, couldn't hold. I mean, the plan was like 400 watts, and I think I averaged about 340. Like, just,
and it's just not there. Like, it's just
not there. Your head feels right, and the legs, they just don't go. And then you start thinking about it, and like I said, it's just a downward spiral. And I feel like there might have been a bit of that of Roglic. And when he got to the climb, it wasn't the normal in the seat, just pistons. He was out of the seat.
He looked messy.
Hairs everywhere. Helmet looked like it was shocking. It was just all unraveled. And it was something that no one saw coming at all.
Should we hit a few more of these questions?
Can we, just before we do that, Richie Porte.
Oh yeah,
podium, Tour de France. He tore shreds off the time trial.
He tore shreds off the last 3 weeks.
He did.
After, like, I don't know, it would have been so easy for him to lose his head a little bit. Not sulk, but just have a negative lens on his team after they let it slip in the crosswinds. All the other GC bros, well, except for Pogačar, but all the other GC bros are doing taps. They've got their squads around them. He missed out, and he's got riders up the road. It wasn't a good look, but he just strung it together. He just punches. There was so many things where he just kept it together, kept it moving. And then to pull together a time trial like that,
he was only 22 seconds behind Pogačar on the climb. He was Richie was the second fastest up the climb. So the time was 16:10 for Pogačar, 16:32 for Richie, and then Wout van Aert was the only other rider to go under 17 minutes, 16:52.
That's the other thing that makes this ride by the Pog so impressive, though, that he was fast on the flatland as well. He wasn't crawling and then just torched the climb like a climber potentially could. He pulled together a genuine time trial.
Yeah. You're not going to sit here and say that he looks like $1 million on the TT bike ever.
No.
Either.
You still look at Tommy D and you're like, oh, yeah, that guy looks good.
Yeah, but it was just all muscle. It was just all muscle. And like I said before, I thought he was just going to go out as hard as possible and try and hang on, but he just kept going. It was just the footage of the climb is ridiculous. Like anytime the pace was slowing, he just gets out of the seat and just mashes it, and then just gets on top of the big gear. And it was. I'm genuinely a little bit lost for words on the performance that he put out. But at the start, 140, Richie had to make up on Lopez. Yeah. Everyone was a little bit like, that'll be close.
What did Lopez end up finishing?
Bruh, he was.
Where is it?
He was.
Where even is he on this?
He was genuinely, 6:17 to Pog. He lost 5 minutes to Richie.
Is he still inside the top 10? Yeah, he finished 6th. Whoa. 6 minutes.
I feel like that's a bad day.
Oh, that's a shocking day.
Like, we didn't expect him to do a good TT, but when you're defending a podium in the Tour de France, you expect more. He didn't deserve the podium with 6 minutes losing on the last day. I mean, with an uphill TT as well. And on the climb, he was awful on the climb. He was 44th fastest on the climb.
After torching the Queen stage.
So we were talking about this yesterday. Time trialing uphill is different to in a race.
And we went at 2,000 meters.
It's completely different. It was that's imploding. That's imploding.
6 minutes. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's not so good.
It takes Astana's performance from quite a good score to an okay score.
Yeah.
2 stage wins. We'll get to that.
But
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Richie Porte, his interview was genuine. You could genuinely feel the relief and the excitement he's gonna have tonight in Paris, stepping onto the podium. He was like, I'm gonna have that picture forever. I thought that was pretty cool.
And it's something about it. Just puts kind of a tick next to, all right, that's Richie Porte.
That's a successful career.
It's what he's always deserved, but it's never been able to achieve. And so to see that it's a nice piece.
Yeah.
He
can retire happy now. I think he really will.
But even when people in 10, 20 years time now, they look back and they say Richie Porte, podium at the Tour de France.
Yeah.
There's so much that has so much more power than really anything else.
Doesn't it? It's like, oh, you did the tour? Yeah, what'd you get? Oh, 7th. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was on the podium. Here's a photo of me with the Arc de Triomphe behind me. I was 3rd.
Getting beaten by the hottest cyclist over the next 10 years.
I mean, what's next for this guy? I think there was a question somewhere in there.
I don't know.
You just
There's a
want to go
question
through the
from.
questions?
Yep. Top or bottom? Would you
Go
like me to go first?
maybe go top down, work through them.
So we'll start with we kind of touched on Thomas's question about thoughts and prayers of Jumbo Visma. So solid, the best team by a million miles, and yeah, that'd be
Would it
tough
be
to
like?
take.
Can you imagine the dinner table?
It would be so flat.
What
Can
would you
you
do?
can
What
you
would you
can
What
you?
would you do?
But like you wouldn't. It's not like you're angry at
No.
Roglic. It's just you'd just be so confused. You knew that this TT was like the tour was won. You'd done the work. It was just finishing it off, and I just don't know how you would feel. Also, like how bad Primoz would be feeling horrendous.
Well, this comes to Prue's second question. How does Roglic recover from this? Like mentally, how do you regroup and go again after that?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever been that disappointed.
I was just thinking like,
All right, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that world champs example.
Yeah.
After that, were you demoralized?
Yeah, absolutely. Like super flat. Super like yeah.
Like what were you feeling? Talk to me about your emotions.
Well, my mate, this is a long time ago now, Alex.
Back when I was a boy.
It was the main thing was I was super motivated for the next year. It was like as soon as that was finished, it was like bang, 12 months time, like we're on again. So like I feel like he's going to be motivated to come out and try again because getting so close, doing everything right, and just coming unstuck, just the last 50 minutes of the race, just got unhitched. So I think you can take a lot of confidence out of that and be motivated going forward. But it'll take at least I'm talking minimum 1 month to forget about it. He's never going to forget about it, but to like be able to have sleep. He's going to be sleepless for weeks. Just thinking, what happened? What went wrong? What did we do?
The thought process back to that stage where he let Roglic go up the road, where he didn't hunt him down. Oh no. He's going to be thinking about that for years until he wins the tour.
I've always thought that being in a losing side in an AFL Grand Final would be the worst feeling. But
not anymore.
I feel like this has got to be worse.
There's a new...
Just feels sick.
Yeah.
Like how would you even start? Of course he's going to start tonight, but just starting tonight. I don't know. Are we reading into it too much? Are we building this up too much? But like I feel sick for him.
Yeah.
If I was in that situation, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
We both don't really have any idea about his personality.
No.
Maybe he's just sitting back going, "You beauty, I'm on $1.5 million a year. I'm going to get paid that next year because I'm probably the best rider in the Tour de France." Next. Question down here on Facebook saying he'll win the Welter. I don't think that's the likely reason, but I think the probable outcome is that he will be demoralized. Whether he can channel that energy
there's not that long to the Welter. There's not that long to the Welter.
Oh, it's not long at all.
How do you get back up for that? I'm not too sure. Anyway, let's keep ripping through some of these questions.
Yeah, it's gone from a massive night on the circuit in Paris to just get out of here, boys. Let's just pack it up. Not even interested.
Even if Wood Van Aert wins the last stage, you just want to be ejecting out of that goddamn bubble as quick as possible.
Yeah. The Two Man makes a good point here, though. You get smashed at the 29 Giro, bounced back. It's different, though. It's the Tour de France. You're about to win the Tour de France and you're a
Yeah.
genuine lock on it. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, it would have been better if the Pog went wild on a mountain stage and he got the better of him. It would have been
Yeah.
easier to overcome.
You'd be able to take that. And it's
One
not
thing,
like it's not like he had 1 second. He had a minute. He had a nice little cushion there in the yellow. He's 30 years of age. Like, he's got all these young guys coming up from behind him. This was a massive chance to win the Tour de France.
Jimmy Whelan's obviously not riding Campag this year, based off his most recent comment.
It doesn't look fast. Campag looks rank.
They were both riding pretty rank TT bikes, to be fair. Colinago and Bianchi, both not known for their TT rigs.
No.
What was, actually, Lopez wasn't on a Merida, was he?
No, they're on Argons.
No, Argons.
Mm.
I had one other thing to say, but I've forgotten it. One thing. Remember in that first podcast we did with Caleb, and he won that stage, and he's like, it took 2 hours to get back to the hotel.
Yeah.
The only thing that like the tour worked out perfectly for the Pog, in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have any of that.
Well,
he had a couple of stage wins.
He would have had a little bit of that. I think. The white jersey, you've still got to do podium protocol, probably some drug testing too. Probably not as much media. I'm not too sure how it's all set up this year with the coronavirus, but he still had a little bit of that. So it wasn't like he was just crossing the finish line and jumping in the bus and going home every day. He had podium and all that. So if that's what you were angling, that he didn't have to do
that was my angle. Yeah.
Maybe it was a little bit less, but I still do you agree? Maybe with the white jersey and all the other bits and pieces, he would have had that protocol. What's going on with your son just piling into your face?
1 sec. Yeah. Just not as much pressure. Also, like, young, no kind of expectation. He loses all that now. It's all gone.
Yeah. Well, there's a question back here talking about something about Bernal. Is Pog in a better position to build a dynasty than Bernal was after the 19 race? Geez, backing up so hard, isn't it?
It's just a whole nother lens you have on. There's something about that naive lens.
No pressure lens.
Yeah, it's like you can always reflect on it and go, oh, that was like my learning tour, like my tour to work out what's what.
Yeah.
Next year is the favorite.
Well, yeah, I can't wait to see Bernal come back in Topnik as well. But I tell you what, this team UAE is going to have to do is they're going to have to go shopping for some domestiques.
Yeah.
Because,
they're gonna have to talk to the prince about a little bit more moolah, and then
Wow, I'm sure the money's not a problem.
Build out. Because imagine if he had yellow 4 days to go, he couldn't have done what?
I don't think so. I think they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go shopping for some good quality domestics. They've got a few there. Aru, Formulo. Would you trust Aru? Probably not. Formulo, yeah, I'd happily have him. De La Cruz, he was also good. But yeah, I would have to have a look at their full team sheet. But you think they're going to have to bring some guys in? What are you laughing about?
This comment, from Isaac. You've saying that Aru isn't a good helper. News to me. Adam makes a point. Is there any official news that Richie has signed with Ineos? Is it all?
I think it's all pub talk,
but pretty legit pub talk.
But I think when Andy Schleck's talking about it, it's probably pretty rock solid.
Because Richie wouldn't be a
Why
bad helper.
Richie going at UAE.
Look at the Tour de France winner.
Mm.
Why not take the guy that's come third?
I mean, of course, that's why he's going to Ineos. He's going to go be a domestic, but they need to tighten things up there. But at the moment, I don't think they care. They're going to ride into Paris tomorrow. Christoph's probably going to win the final sprint.
Yeah. You forget that they picked up a stage as well through him.
I know, right? They had the yellow
Seemed like it
jersey
was
on the
years
first
ago.
stage, and
And
they're
the
going to
last.
wear it into Paris.
How good's that?
Yeah, I still couldn't believe that it was happening. What was happening last night? Those time checks, they were going out. I thought the French coverage or broadcasters had it wrong. It was just the most outrageous stage I've ever seen.
Mm.
And people say the TTs are boring, and yeah, sometimes they can be, but sometimes
How
they can be.
how good was having
exciting.
how good was having the climb at the end for
Mm.
me as a spectator?
Yeah,
really good.
Mountain TTs, they're the future. Get them in.
No, but like not just a pure mountain TT, like a bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the flatland was essential.
Yep, get it in.
If that was just a climb, even maybe Lopez could have strung together an okay ride. But
Pog going to slide into Christoph's yellow bibs from head tap 2. I guarantee you he'll be in the yellow bibs. He'll be in some yellow bibs. He's been rocking the white bibs all tour, so I don't think he was going to hold back on the yellow.
I saw a picture out of the Colinago factory. They've got a full yellow spec bike for him.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't expect anything less.
Is there anything else to get through from this stage? Because I just feel like I've just been gibbering. I've just been going off of what I was feeling last night with no real structure.
Not really. Well, there's two headlines. Like Tommy D and Wout van Aert was still superb. Like besides Pogacar's just out of this world performance. Like you put a minute 20 into the next rider. A minute 20. That doesn't happen that doesn't happen after under 17s local TTs. It's wild.
Well, what was I think I tipped Roglic, Dumoulin, Van Aert, or those. I thought they were going to do the 1, 2, 3. They got pretty close, but no one saw this guy.
I think putting Richie like at third, that's exceptional. Yeah. That's such a good ride. That's so good.
Yep.
It must have been good though, having in the radio just Lopez is going out the hoop. He's getting absolutely torched. Richie, you are tearing his legs off.
They didn't even show Lopez come into the finish. They just lost him. They didn't know where he was.
He got caught by everyone. He threw their TV schedule way out of whack.
We're just going on tangents here. We're going left, right, and center on this structure, but just a quote from Tom D. What can I say? It happened. I don't know how Pogacar climbed a minute faster than I did. We hadn't taken this into account. This is quite a blow. The tour slips from our hands. I rode well again, but that doesn't matter anymore.
That's a very good summary. Enric Mas put in a handy ride.
Yeah, and also the Jew man comes in with Cavagna. He was super impressive. We thought that time was just going to just disappear. It held strong. But yeah, just the climbers, they just proved too strong on that final uphill. But yeah. Well, yeah, it's because Lopez is still out there. He hasn't come in yet. He's still climbing La Planche de Belfis.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Is there any other questions before? Oops. Thoughts on Rog warming up right to the start time. He was still on the turbo as Pog was going down the ramp.
I mean,
Is
That
that
was a bit
normal?
weird. It was a bit weird. It was. Did that suggest that he was just super nervy? Was he like legs feel shocking? I've just got to keep them ticking over because you normally see guys they sit down for at least a couple of minutes before then they jump on. He was on the turbo like right to the very end, that's an interesting point that's been brought up here. It was a little bit unusual.
Mm. But it's not going to throw your TT out by a minute.
No, it's not gonna. But was that the signs that maybe things weren't that he just wasn't feeling? He just wasn't feeling good. He just wasn't feeling comfortable. He just had to keep the legs turning over. He was feeling nervous. It just seemed a bit odd
Hmm.
for
I
mine.
don't know. I don't know.
I concur with the
I don't-
question.
Yeah. I think that's it.
If we can just keep our heads screwed on,
There's a question here. Will
just
Pogacar share his winnings with the Jumbo team? Yes. He'll be sharing all of them, I would imagine,
with the jumbo team.
with the UAE team, I assume. I don't know why I'd be sharing it with the Jumbo team.
Because they've been riding on the front for 3 weeks.
They
I think that's what he means.
did
It's like
they did his steamroll for him.
that's what I'm talking about. I think that's why he's put them in.
Sorry,
But
sorry, boys. The fresh rollies are going to Jumbo.
but just on Alex Croft's question, is Pog in a better position to build a dynasty than Bernal? I don't think we really answered. I think we got a bit lost. Do you think he is?
Um, I love his energy. I don't know how do you answer that question.
Mm.
We were having this. It probably wasn't as wild this conversation last year, but it was pretty similar. It was like Egan Bergenau's going to win the Tour de France.
Yeah, he's going to win it 10 times in a row.
Yeah, and now he hasn't, and we've got another one.
Yeah, but I think
there's another guy.
I think we've learned from Bernal that he's just not going to come back and do it easily. There's going to be things that pop up. It's not easy to win the Tour, is it? Like there's a lot of things
So
that need to
hard
go
to
your
win the
way.
Tour.
You've got to be right on the good days. If you have a bad day, you hope that it's an easy one. Just so surprised that both these young winners didn't have just a shocker. You know,
It's that thought. It's like, this is my first Tour de France. If this goes wrong, everyone in the media, everyone at home, everyone that I know just thinks, it's his first Tour de France.
Mm.
As soon as you come back, a completely different lens, completely different build up, completely different. Like your life changes.
Yeah,
It's a
but
whole new ball
to
game.
answer the question, I'm going to say yes. He is.
Why?
He's going to. Well, I just think he's just a little bit more rounded than Bernal.
Yeah.
A little bit more of an. Just got a little bit more about him. A little bit more excitement.
Boy in TT, we found out.
He can TT. I mean, I was a little bit. I was genuinely still skeptical on the start ramp last night. Wasn't reading into his performances too much, but I mean now that team is all about him now, isn't it? UAE. That's all. It's all in for Pogacar.
He
More
owns
money
that
coming
squad.
in. More riders coming in. He's going to have every opportunity to do what he wants. Yeah. So yes, I think he's in a better position.
Yeah. I like the kind of the young rider, Alan Piper at the helm, big budget potential. Like he could there's work to be done here.
Mm.
New kids on the block. Exciting talent. But as you said, they need to build that out. I don't think he could win next year if he comes with the same squad.
No. Same squad, different expectations. It's a different kettle of fish next year, but he should enjoy it while he can.
Yeah.
What does the 22nd birthday party circuit look like for the Pog on Monday? Ooh.
Pretty wild, I would imagine. Yeah. 22.
What's the capital of Slovenia? Like Ljubljana or something like that.
I don't know, but I reckon he could shut down the whole town.
Big circuit, wouldn't it? It'd be a pretty big circuit. Do you reckon he's the sort of guy that circuits?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I was just his interview was just it was. I was expecting a bit more emotion.
Yeah, but do you think that? I think that's because it's just like, what's going on here? Like what? I don't think
hadn't
it's
sunk in yet.
Yeah, it was all new.
Maybe.
Also, like he was like, "What's the fuss, boys? Like that was too easy. Just won a tour."
Last question, I guess, from the tube man. Is Pog going to win the Worlds?
Are those two going to line up on the same squad?
Well, that's the thing. What's Worlds? Worlds is next week.
Yeah.
So maybe there might not be a circuit on Monday, but I tell you what, I wouldn't worry about the Worlds. I'd probably.
But it suits them. It suits them. That's the problem.
But yeah, are there going to be fresh guys coming in that haven't done the tour, or is the tour good? Oh, you see a lot of guys.
I think the tour is good. I think
from the tour to San Sebastian, the weekend after.
But also we're talking the tour with no racing pretty much beforehand. Got 1 week stage race beforehand. Normally these guys are coming in with 6 months of work, structured program. They've had no racing.
No,
I think they're going to come out of this flying, especially based off how the Pog went up that last climb. Oh my
god! Shit. Quick.
Why are these guys so young?
I don't know, man. I got no idea.
How does it even work?
Got no idea.
Who's
going to win tonight? Paris.
Caleb Ewan.
Anything could happen. Lopez will win the sprint.
Caleb Ewan's the fastest guy there.
Yeah. Yep.
Sam Bennett's got the best lead-out train. Anyone else could get lucky and get mixed up in the final and potentially win. Luka Mesjek could take the jockeys.
Christoph, mate. Yeah. Christoph has got this feel of Christoph. He's won here before.
We've got the Pog rip and turns in the yellow jersey on the Champs-Élysées for Christoph.
Could happen. Christoph or Caleb for mine.
No Bennett. No Morkov. Absolutely, like Morkov, Cav Renshaw Day-esque lead out.
Maybe.
Pretty much gifting him the victory.
Richie does a Steve and Bradbury wins by 3. Who knows? Jumbo might just throw the rule book out tonight and just go for it from the start.
Well, but that's what's he he's got genuine time on him. It's not like he just clawed it back. He's taken a minute out of him.
Yeah.
It's wild behavior.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who's your punt? Not that it really matters.
Caleb or Christoph, I'm going to go to.
Yeah. I'm going to go Caleb. I think it's Caleb or Sam Bennett. Yeah. Sam Bennett, asterisk. Caleb fastest, Sam Bennett, best lead out. If Morkov can do the work, which you'd be pretty confident, and probably the rider in the race you'd be wanting to do it for you, then he could win.
Yeah. Are we back on tomorrow or not?
Or Wood Van Aert just takes one out with anger, fury. That's possible too. Yeah, I reckon we come back on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which we're still pending confirmation of the tour podcast Unpack with a former Tour de France winner.
Ooh,
Mic drop.
that's big.
Yeah. So we'll keep you posted. But I think for now, we'll just touch base tomorrow. We'll probably still be talking about this time trial.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap things up. We appreciate, I appreciate, I'm sure Campbell does too, all the comments. It's good to have a bit of interaction. And hopefully, I don't know. I think this format's good. If we keep doing like the normal podcast live, then you get people talking at the same time.
Yeah. It's good.
I just need to work out how to do it in the same room when you can be in the same room. Cool. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Campbell.
Thanks, Alex. Pleasure.
Tomorrow at 5 for the last Unpack.